A delegation of Australian parliamentarians will visit a refugee camp in Armenia today as thousands flee their homes in Nagorno-Karabakh. The region is heavily contested and was seized by Armenian separatists after the collapse of the Soviet Union. But last week, Azerbaijan forces took control in a swift military operation. Almost 30,000 people have fled across the border, or around a quarter of the region's population. For some, the journey has been deadly, with at least 68 killed in a petrol station explosion on Monday. For those who made it across the border, the future is unclear.
We don't have a place to go here. We don't know what we're going to do. We have children. These are my grandchildren. She's studying at school and is in the second grade. She returned home from school and didn't even manage to have lunch when the bombing started.
The Armenian National Committee of Australia describes the situation as a humanitarian crisis and is calling for support to help those displaced by the conflict. Michael Kolokossian is the committee's executive director and joins us now. Hi there, Michael. So tell us exactly where you are.
I'm in Goris. It's good to join you. I'm in Goris, here outside a refugee centre behind me. Goris is a border village that takes Armenians from the Republic of Armenia into Artsakh. We've been here for a few hours now, and the crisis developing behind me is really emotional. It's really disturbing to actually witness.
What is the situation there? You say you've been there for a few hours. What have you seen? Have you spoken to people? What are they telling you?
Well, it's the early hours of the morning here, and everyone that we have spoken to has fled with whatever they can. They've put, one piece of luggage on top of their cars. They've got mattresses. There's children carrying only the clothes on their back, and there's queues of cars just trying to get into Goris. Just behind me in the centre, there's hundreds of people waiting to be checked and cleared by the ICRC and processed. We'll be meeting with the Goris municipality and the ICRC later today to see the processes and plans that they have in place to deal with the humanitarian crisis that's unfolding. The number just keeps increasing. The number of Nagorno-Karabakh residents that are fleeing into the Republic of Armenia just keeps increasing. It started at what was 3,000, and now we already have over 28,000 here in Goris and across Armenia.
And Goris is a town where people are trying to get to, those people who are leaving Nagorno-Karabakh. Is that right, Michael? And there's only one road in, isn't there?
Yes, there is only one road in, and that road had been closed for a long time. It had been under siege for 9 months as a result of Azerbaijan's blockade against the entire region. And they've now opened that road after an assault on the Republic of Artsakh. They've opened that road after bombing civilian settlements there for 24 hours. And they've now allowed the people of Artsakh to flee. What we're witnessing is a forced ethnic cleansing of this region's indigenous inhabitants. It's 120,000 Armenians who have nowhere else to go.
We've heard a little bit about the history of both countries and the region, but why has Azerbaijan taken this action against Nagorno-Karabakh now?
Azerbaijan has been emboldened to take this action because the international community has been silent on its aggression. It was silent and failed to take action against its 44 days of war crimes against the Republic of Artsakh in 2020. It failed to take action on the International Court of Justice when the International Court of Justice ordered provisional orders for Azerbaijan to open the corridor. And it's only emboldened Azerbaijan to commit further atrocities against these people. Azerbaijan is a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship that's been run by the same family for 30 years. Its president's wife is the vice president. He's already prepared his son to take over. This is a regime that the international community and Australia must condemn. It must condemn authoritarian regimes, particularly because Artsakh is a democracy. It shares the same values as Australian civilians. It shares the same values as Australian procedures and democratic procedures. And that's why we are here. That's why there's Australian parliamentarians in Armenia. There's no Australian parliamentarians in Azerbaijan because it is a dictatorship. And it would be absurd for Australian parliamentarians to go there and only embolden Azerbaijan to do what they're doing.
Azerbaijan, though, says, Michael, that it wants to reintegrate the ethnic Armenians as, quote, equal citizens. What do you say to that?
I can only laugh at that. The Armenians of Nakhichevan were persecuted. They were their cultural monasteries and churches were wiped from the face of this earth in Nakhichevan. There's already churches in the occupied territories of the Republic of Artsakh that are being converted into mosques. There's hundreds of Armenians still in Azerbaijani captivity. Azerbaijan has opened a theme park with the helmets of dead Armenian soldiers. This isn't a regime that is willing to look after Armenians and provide them the same rights, because there's Armenophobic hatred that is being taught to their children from young ages in schools. Not to mention that Azerbaijan doesn't even allow its own citizens the freedoms and rights that they deserve as humans. They're ranked as one of the worst countries when it comes to freedom of democracy, jailing journalists. Like Azerbaijan is definitely not going to be the one to provide a safe and secure future for the people of Artsakh.
You're there to visit and to deliver humanitarian aid as well. Michael, what sort of help are you bringing?
Well, two councils in Australia, the Ryde City Council and the Willoughby City Council, launched mayor's appeals for Artsakh 108 years ago during the Armenian genocide. The mayors of Melbourne and Sydney launched these same appeals, and that aid did reach the Armenian survivors of that genocide. And in honouring that legacy, in honouring that history, the mayors of Ryde and Willoughby have once again launched those appeals, and we will be here with these Australian parliamentarians delivering that aid to authorities in Yerevan. As we know, the refugees are coming to Goris, but they're moving across the Republic of Armenia. So we want to provide that aid to the authorities in Yerevan so it reaches the people that need it most. But then we're also expecting the Australian government to join the international community, join, for example, US aid Samantha Power, who's here and who just recently announced over $10 million in financial assistance for the Republic of Armenia and the refugees here. So we will be calling on the Australian government to do the same. And Senator Birmingham, the Liberal Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, has also just released a statement calling for the Australian government to take immediate action to cease Azerbaijan's ongoing aggression against the people of Artsakh, but also to provide emergency humanitarian relief to these people here.
Michael Kolokossian, thank you so much for joining us.